Hey guys, the StrongBoys19 here, and this is the 2013 review of the new Bullet for My Valentine album entitled Temper Temper. I don't even know where to start with this album. I was very speechless. Just as I have watched KHFanForever23's review, I checked out the whole album on YouTube, 44.5 minutes of it. And I'll get to the album in a minute, but I know that there are other people that have reviewed this album. You've got KHFanForever23, Mr. Campbell Spork, Count Blaggereth, Cover Killer Nation, Weekly Mail Reviews, Absent Productions. There will be more to come. Bullet for My Valentine have been one of these bands that I really enjoyed since I got into them back in 2006. I loved their first two albums. The Poison was a fantastic debut, and Scream Aim Fire was a little bit more of a thrashier type of album. But with that being said, it's still a really, really good album. Favor was, not that bad. It is a cool album, but not as cool as, like, the first two, obviously. For my honest opinion, that is. But when I checked out the music videos for Temper Temper and Riot, my expectations went downhill. After that, I was not anticipating for this album at all. And when I checked out the whole album on there, I was just very, very disappointed. I had a big face palm whilst listening to most of the tracks on this album. It's so bad. It just completely changed my experiences of loving this band already. But Temper Temper is definitely going to be one of these albums that's going to be in the top 5 worst albums of the year. And I was just very mad at the band after I've listened to the album. Well, consider that I am a fan of this band. Well, I was, after listening to this album. I had to listen to it because, real Bullet for My Valentine fans listen to most of their stuff. Now, I was a real Bullet for My Valentine fan, but this one completely changed it all. It made me now not a 100% fan of this band, not after this, because I'll tell you the obvious reasons why this album is just a big, bad mess. Okay, here we go. Most of the songs, creativity, and even the lyrical contents on here are just absolute nonsense. They are all combined into, a big disaster. I'm just speechless, guys. I don't know how far this review is going to go. But, hear me out for a second. I'll just tell you some of the good things. There are only 2 things that I liked on the album. The worst parts are just, much more higher than the good parts. The production is cool, and I just really like the sound of the guitars, and the drums just sounded really good. And there are some little bits of cool pieces of cool guitar solo work. And those are only the 2 things that I liked in the album. But there is more to come, but on the bad side. most of the songs on this album sounded exactly the same. They are just, so bland that they're just so god-awfully generic. It's just like that the band try out something new with this album, but in my opinion, they simply failed. The Poison had much more better music creation than this. Scream, Aim, Fire had much more better creation than this. Favor, just had a little bit more better creation than this. This album has nothing at all. Lack of creation at all. And that is downright lazy. Lazy lack of creation doesn't make an album even good. To be a good step up than its predecessors. The song structures are arguably repetitive and simple as heck. They are just so simplistic. I was just, just very disappointed. I mean, when you look at Bullet for My Valentine back in the day, from the other albums, they have much more of a better and complex type of creation, of their own creativity, of their song structures. But this completely changed it all. As I've said before, the song structures are just terrible and simple. They aren't even good at all. They are just boring. The guitar work on the album is just so bad. It's nothing special at all. It's the same pieces at times that's been repeated over and over again. Like Riot, for example. Just the same chug. But after the repetitive chug, it doesn't get any better. None of the songs get any better at all. The drums on this album are just nothing great at all. The drumming back in the day was just, awesome. But I think Moose just couldn't think of any more good creativity from the top of his head and just play and record the same beats over and over again. And I think that's why this album wasn't interesting. I think that's one of the things that I did not like on the album. Simple creativity. This band used to be really good for its own advanced type of music, but then it just completely tears it down into the ground. The lyrical contents are laughable but terrible at the same time. Oh, I don't even know what to say about them. I don't even remember most of the words because they were just so bad as well. I don't know which is worse, the music or the lyrical content. Well, they're both bad. Let's leave it as that. It doesn't have its moments of good at all. This album as a whole is just the same things that's just been, repeated loads of times. Most of the songs are nothing special. Breaking Point, Truth Hurts, POW. I don't know what that title's pronounced. Obviously Temper and Riot. Tears Don't Fall Part 2. Oh my god. This song is just, a bit like the original, but they are just too lazy to come up with something new for this song. It's just, in the same type of creation, in the same key, but with nothing interesting, good material. It's like, the chorus. The chorus is exactly alike on this song, like Tears Don't Fall Part 1 from the Poison album. Then the riffs from the verses are just nothing. The song as a whole is just nothing. It's just terrible. Most of the songs on here, they really do not interest me at all. And they are easily forgettable. They are just boring, and I got extremely tired of listening to this. But you know, I had to listen to this album since I was a fan of this band. So, I was just, you know, very pissed by this album. But for most of you hardcore Bullet fans out there who like this album, fair play. After this, I was not going to buy this album anyways. So, other than that, this is a complete travesty. Stay away from it. Avoid it at all costs. If you know the other good stuff from this band. Well, this is not one of them. This is just complete, utter garbage. I do not want to listen to this album ever again. Album rating gets a 2 out of 10. Terrible. Terrible. Stay away from this. Keep it metal, guys.